It is not the number of times you fail that matters. It's the number of times you succeed, and that's going to depend on how many times you try. What I do today, these seminars go all the way back to 1984. Started out as a little Bible study in my pastor's home for about a dozen people around a kitchen table. God had been speaking to me about how valuable our time is and how we need to redeem the time. And so I put together a little study one night, 6 reasons why we ought to redeem the time. Same 6 reasons I still share today in our first message. And God seemed to bless that little study and got a good report back on it a few days later, how God used it in somebody's life. And so the next time I had a chance to speak, I just did the same material over again. And I started doing it over and over, and I began to take it to other pastors in the area that I knew. And they let me share it at their churches. But you know, after a couple years of that, I started running out of pastors who I personally knew. And if I wanted to go any further with this thing, I had to begin approaching pastors who I did not personally know. And so I would call up a pastor on the phone and I'd say, "Hi, my name is Rick Grubbs, and I'm doing a seminar on redeeming the time. Can I come share that at your church?" And they'd say, "Who? You're who? You want to do what?" "No, I don't know you, and you're not coming to my church." And I'd get my little feelings hurt. And I'd say, "You know, this thing isn't going anywhere. I'm just going to stick with my job. I'm not going to mess with this. And I went on like that for several years, I'm sorry to say, until finally, a few years back, I started kind of listening to what I'd been telling other people. And I started seeing that at 35 years old, my life was now halfway complete if I lived a 70-year lifespan. And I still was not really getting any closer to doing what I really felt God had called me to do, which was to take these principles of redeeming the time to as many people as I could in my lifetime. And so that year, I got on the phone and I started to call. And I'd call that first pastor and he'd say, "No." Second one, "No." Third one, "No." But then I'd call that fourth pastor and he'd say, "You know what? That sounds interesting. Tell you what. We don't have a big church, but yeah, come on by. We'll give you a Wednesday night." Well, that year, we had about 30-some meetings. The next year, we doubled that to 70-some. The next year, we went full-time in this work. And you know what? Since I've been full-time in this, I've been turned down more than I've ever been turned down in my life. But that's okay, because I've also had more meetings than I've ever had. And what did we discover? That it's not the number of times you fail that matters. It's the number of times you succeed. And that's going to depend on how many times you try. Are we all seeing how that works now? Let me illustrate this just one more way. I saw a sales trainer once illustrate this concept this way. He said, suppose that every time you sell one of your products, you make a $10 commission on the sale of that product. But he said the problem is that only one person out of 10 is going to end up buying your product. Well, to illustrate how this would work, he gives 10 people across the front row of his audience a $10 bill, as I'm doing right now. And then he asks them, who wants to buy his product? Now, you 9 here are going to tell me no, and my friend Carl right here is going to tell me yes, okay? When I ask you if you want my product or not, you tell me that you do not want the product, okay? Now, how about you right here, young man? Do you want my product? No. No? Oh, well, thank you for that $10. You, sir, right here front and center. I know you're going to want my product, right?
No.
No? Oh, well, thank you for the $10 anyway. How about you? Brent, right down here on the front. You want my product?
No, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you anyway for the $10. How about you ladies right up here? Would you like it?
No, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you here. Oh, well, I got $20 more on that stop. How about these young men right here on the front? Would you like my product, sir?
No, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for the $10. And how about you, young man?
No, maybe later.
Oh, okay. You're gonna procrastinate and think about it a little bit, huh? All right. Well, thank you for the $10 while you're thinking about it. How about you right here?
No.
No? Okay. I bet you want it.
No, thank you.
No, Carl, all these people have given me $10. How about you? Do you want my product?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. Let's give them a hand for their participation here. All right. Now, here's my question for you. When did I make my $100 commission? Did I make it just on Carl over here? No, not really. I was actually making $10 every time I spoke to one of these other folks because I had to go through those 9 no's in order to get to that one yes. And so really, every time I was getting that no, I was making another $10. Okay, what's the point of this for us as Christians? Well, when you go to share the gospel with folks, Are you going to get more yeses or nos? What do you think? Probably going to get a lot more no's. At least that's the way it works in North Carolina. But you know what? You got to go through those 9 no's in order to get to that one yes. And it's not the number of times you fail that matters. It's the number of times you succeed. And that's going to depend on how many times you try.